to the other LA team playing Jared Goff. I guess he's
not
playing
LA.
out of my, yeah,
not LA anymore.
I'm sorry. Let's get into Jared Goff. I guess he's playing out of his mind. I didn't really see much of the game.
Mandatory Lions talk. Bro, like, we haven't mentioned the word Lions all season, but Lions are on a fucking roll. I don't know if you guys know this. They started the season 1-6.
Yep.
They're 6-7 right now.
Yep.
Jared Goff is playing the best football in his entire life. Like, the offense is just moving, man. They're moving. Amonte Brown, DJ Chark, DeAndre Swift. The offensive line is holding up well. Like, Jared Goff is just slinging that ball, and he's looking confident than he's ever been. Like, and he's actually throwing deep balls. Detroit is surprising me. The defense is doing enough. They're still a little susceptible. Obviously, in the beginning of the season, I think they were on pace to be probably the worst defense of all time at certain points in the season. But now they've started to step up a little bit and just do enough to keep their teams in games, and obviously been blowing out fools. I mean, the amount of points that they've been putting up has just been insane. Obviously, you got to get all the credit to the OC. The dude is just, he's scheming guys open. Detroit's not the most talented, doesn't have the most talent in the league, but like what they're able to do with what they have has just been extremely impressive. Like, it's crazy to see. Like, when I heard, who would have thought that we would have heard Jared Goff, that move to Detroit, would have revitalized his career? Who says that, yeah, I'm going to go to Detroit to revitalize my career? Jared Goff did that. Now Jared Goff is in a situation where now he actually kind of has a future as a starter. It still remains to be said, like, whether Detroit ends up drafting a guy, because in that trade, I think they currently stand as a 3rd overall pick, which ended up working beautifully for them. So with this type of quarterback draft class, it could be kind of tough, but it gives you something to think about. But with the way Jared Goff's playing, he's definitely going to be that perfect bridge guy if they do decide to bring somebody. But Detroit, man, they're legitimate in the playoff race. It's going to be tough. They're going to have to ask a lot of teams to lose, but at least they're giving Detroit fans something to cheer about.
Yeah, no, I could definitely agree, man. It might be a little too early to say he revitalized his career with a few wins, but if they make a good run into the playoffs,
think he has.
I mean, listen, because we don't know what could happen in the last few games of the season if they lose every single game, which I doubt would happen depending on the schedule. They've been balling, and I've been shouting out St. Brown. I've been telling you the last few games, this guy's legit, but you can give credit to the quarterback as well. But he's a legit receiver, and right now, the Lions are kind of reminding me of the Dolphins, 2 seasons ago when they started off terrible and then had a little, win streak to get them into playoff contention second half of the season. It was 2 seasons ago.
Okay.
Or was it last season when you fired Flores? Because it was Flores
it was last season, yeah.
Oh, so it was last season. All right, yeah, my bad then.
Yeah,
so it was last season, yeah. Damn, I feel like that was a long time ago. Anyways, it's kind of reminding me of that team, like, coming out of nowhere, right? It's impressive. And guess what, man? We shouted out 2 weeks ago, I think it was last week, when they demolished the Jaguars. They cooked them. We said it was going to be a high-scoring game for both teams. Yeah. Turned out to be a high-scoring game just for one team, and that was the Lions.
Yeah. I mean, I thought this Minnesota game would be a high-scoring one too, but Minnesota just couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
And Minnesota, mind you, has the second best record in the league. They only had 2 losses. They're 10-2 going into that game. And you beat a big-time divisional rival.
And like that. Sometimes when you don't have anything to lose, let's say these lower-seeded teams somehow, pulls off these upsets. Like, they could play riskier. They could have fun. Yeah. They don't have nothing to prove. But now, look, they're in playoff contention, and then you see Minnesota folded. Like, and Jefferson had a great game, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. But, yeah, no, that was crazy.
Oh, yeah. He had 200 yards? Something like that.
Yeah, 223.
One of those touchdowns was taken from him. I don't know if you guys saw I saw the highlights. I saw the highlight. There was a play they took away from him. That he was actually they called a flag on it, but he was actually in bounds. His heel looked like it was out of bounds, but he was on his toes. He was on the ball of his foot, so the heel never actually hit the white. But they kind of sold that one. But right now, So the entire NFC East is in the playoffs, which is wild to think about.
Well, yeah,
the Commanders,
Seahawks in the
no, the Commanders, Giants, Eagles, and Cowboys are all in it, which is kind of crazy to think about. Commanders are 7-5, New York is 7-5, Seahawks is 6-7, and then Seahawks are 7-6, and then Detroit is 6-7. So they're 2 games out.
Wow.
It's going to be a tough ask. I mean, you have to. Your best shot is you can only lose one more game. You got to go at least 9-8. Honestly, I think for their best shot, they have to win out, and then you still got to hope for a New York loss. Seahawks are probably going to lose, so you could probably hop them because Seahawks are playing San Francisco. It's going to be a tough. Let me see their schedule. Actually, curious to see.
As far as whose schedule you're looking for?
The Lions.
I mean, the Lions. Listen, talking about turning my brain off.
Look. But here we go. Look at it. They play the Jets, the Panthers, Bears, and Packers.
Wow.
And
that's
with
the game.
That's a very favorable schedule. Very favorable schedule. You have a Panthers team that doesn't have a starting quarterback. The Jets, who are good, but their starting quarterback got folded like a lawn chair against fucking Buffalo.
He should be able to come back, I think.
The Bears are eliminated. They're done. And the Packers are just washed up. So, I mean, it's there.
There's a long chance. It's a chance. It's a long chance, but it's a chance, I guess. If you want to,
it's there. I think the biggest thing is you got to hope for other. The problem is they're not in charge of their own fate. That's going to be the trouble.
Who has a better chance of making the playoffs? The Jags or this Detroit Lions team?